Have you seen this sword forging technique? Maybe only the dwarf kingdom has such a master. It's in River Valley Town in Middle-earth. Wushan, the largest dwarf kingdom in Middle-earth, is located near River Valley Town. The residents live a stable and prosperous life with a thriving market. Wushan has endless gold veins, and the dwarves' unmatched jewelry forging skills create exquisite jewelry. The dwarf king Thor became the wealthiest man in Middle-earth, but his increasing greed accompanied the endless wealth. A dwarf miner discovered the star of the mountain in the gold mine. The legendary Archon gem, a symbol of longevity and royal power, King Thor claimed it. The Archon gem on his throne displayed his wealth, strength, and royal authority. Its radiance drew numerous rulers, including the esteemed elf king Salandui, to come and admire it. The elf king had another purpose for this trip, to retrieve the white gem necklace he had commissioned the dwarves to process using the elf diamond bag. Surprisingly, Thor, the dwarf king, increased the price and claimed the elf treasure. The elf king then departed. The friendship between the two races that had been allied for 1,000 years also broke down. Perhaps it was because the dwarf kingdom no longer kept its promise that their glorious days did not last long. Suddenly, a strong wind blew outside the city. Thor's grandson Thorin realized that something was wrong and turned around and shouted the next second. A raging fire engulfed the castle's observation tower. The dragon woke up the thatched cottage, turning the river valley outside the castle into a sea of fire instantly. The dragon's shadow was the only thing visible. Even the mightiest maid couldn't harm it. Dragons adore chance, so the dragon's aim at the dwarf castle in the Lonely Mountain was clearly the castle. The dwarf army arrived at the gate and ready for the royal ceremony, but they were defenseless against the invincible dragon. King Thor only thought about hiding the Archon gem on the throne at the moment of the race's survival. But where to hide it? The oncoming dragon. The Archon gem was also submerged in the golden waves stirred up by the dragon. Thor went crazy and tried to jump off the gold heap. Luckily, his grandson Thor forcefully dragged him away and managed to retrieve it. The once glorious dwarf kingdom is now a homeless dog, fleeing in panic. This scene was also witnessed by the elf king, who was far away and uninvolved. Salandui was indifferent to Thorin's call for help, despite their former alliance. Historically, lost individuals have few friends, especially the dwarves who recently broke their promise. Thorin's hope turned to resentment as Selen led the elf army single-handedly and played a chilling melody. After their country and family were destroyed, the dwarves could only wander in the wilderness and eventually split into 7 clans to seek their own fate. The dragon has seized the gold mines and the world's treasure house of the Lonely Mountain. No one can approach the Lonely Mountain due to the dragon's protection. Dwarf King Thor can only lead a few followers to return to Moriaman, the dwarf's ancestral land, for a comeback. Despite the strong orcs, King Thor led his people in a bloody battle to reclaim their ancestral land. Thor led the troops but was beheaded by the half-life leader Azog. Even the king's son Thorn disappeared. The only dwarf royal bloodline was left, his grandson Thor. The leaderless dwarf army was filled with fear. Thorin, the sole heir to the dwarf kingdom, bravely fought against the powerful Azog alone. During the battle, Thorin's shield was knocked off, leaving him defenseless and vulnerable to a few hits. Azog raised his weapon to deliver the final blow. Thorin grabbed the nearby object and rolled to dodge it. Then he used the project as a shield to resist Azog's attacks several times. In the end, seizing the opportunity, he swung the sword and cut off Azog's mouth. Intense pain left Azog unable to fight again. His men carried him back to the castle. The dwarves regained their morale and became more fearless. They finally faced the battle outside with difficulty, but only 13 dwarves survived. The orcs in the castle had the geographical advantage, and there was no hope of reclaiming their ancestral land. After this battle, the dwarf Wong family completely declined. The young Prince Sulin became famous in this battle and was praised worldwide as the Sulin project team. He could only become a blacksmith in the human village and use this to win. One day, the grey-robed wizard Gandalf appeared in front of Sulin and rekindled the passion. His hope of resurrection.